Good morning, everybody. This is your weekend horoscope for September 8th and 9th of 2018. My name is Molly, and I'm so grateful to have you here. Oh my God, what a huge weekend we have in front of us. There is so much going on. There are so many things I need to remember to talk about. I can't forget anything because everything's important. So let's start with today. Today is Saturday, and we're going to be finishing up that beautiful grand earth trine that we've been experiencing the past few days. Only today the moon is going to be moving in to have a conjunction with Mercury. So really what I think this is about is taking the conscious things that we've been thinking about, the details in our life that we have been consciously aware of, and turning it into subconscious habits. And what I mean by that is in the past few horoscopes, I've been talking about this idea of being aware of how our mind creates our world around us, and how I really think that this trine has been an opportunity for us to see where we are really excelling at that. And so we've been practicing in a conscious way, being aware of the things around us and how they are the direct reflection of our minds and the things that we tell ourselves every day, and just the landscape of our brains and how we feel about our ability to do things in the world. And so what I think having the moon moving into this space really does for us is kind of solidify these lessons that we've learned through this trine, like the conscious lessons, and kind of solidify it into more of a subconscious understanding, and taking what we've observed and maybe how we want to improve upon our ability to, not just think positively, but basically think into existence the world that we want, and how to put that into a subconscious level so that it's kind of happening in the background. It's just like, it's like the antivirus software that runs on your computer that you don't really know it's there, but it's just running in the background, and it's keeping the computer, clean and tidy and free of any sort of negative influence. And that's kind of what I think this moon Mercury conjunction is going to do, is just help put into this subconscious programming into our mind, so that we can continue to stay positive, to stay optimistic, and to go about our days thinking that we are going to have the things we want, and we already have them, and just stirring up that energy from within ourselves every single day. And so I really think that that's going to be really valuable to us, because it's really hard to change our subconscious. It takes a lot of effort and daily practice to even be aware of what our subconscious landscape really is, and the types of things that we tell ourselves that we're not even aware that we're telling ourselves. And so I think it's going to be really great to have some help to be able to reprogram that part of our psyche into something that's more conducive to making things happen in our world that we want to happen. And of course, since the new moon is happening on Sunday, Saturday is our last chance to really decide what kind of intentions and magic we want to create with the new moon. And it's funny, the clouds just moved in front of the sun, which is why it suddenly got dark on this video, which is appropriate because Saturday we will be in the dark of the moon. Right before we have a official new moon, we're in what we call the balsamic phase of the moon. It's the last bit of time before we have a new moon. So I think this is a time of the final stripping away of all the things that we've discovered this past moon cycle that we don't want in our life anymore. This is, in general, this is kind of the trend that we go through with every new moon cycle. Right before the new moon, we get the most cutthroat in determining what we need to cut out, what we need to eliminate, and what we need to make more of an official effort to transmute in our life. So Saturday is our last chance to really do that, and I would implore everybody to really spend some time on this, because the new moon on Sunday is crazy powerful. And there is so much happening that I don't want anybody to miss out on a chance of really coming up with the most powerful and, amazing intention for your life that is going to make a huge difference. And this is a time when you can pick something that maybe before you were too afraid to even ask for, because it's that powerful of a new moon on Sunday. So what's happening on Sunday? We have a new moon that's not only in a sextile with Jupiter and Scorpio, but is in a trine with Pluto and Capricorn. And at the same time, Venus is going to be entering into Scorpio. So there's all kinds of Plutonian and Scorpio energy happening. And that is the place of just raw power, and the kind of power that comes from so deep within us. Think about it. Scorpio is a fixed water sign. So when you think about fixed water, you think of like a lake, a still lake, and all the way down to the bottom where you can't even see. There's all this power and energy happening down there that you can't even see at the surface. And that's really what I think of when I think of Scorpio energy. And to have so much of it in one new moon, when the new moon in and of itself is already a powerful time to have new beginnings and to initiate things in your life, this is one that you definitely don't want to miss out on. And really what it comes down to is not only all of this power that you can channel and apply towards whatever it is that you're trying to make happen, but there's also this optimism, and there's this belief in what's possible. Jupiter is a very positive planet, and Jupiter is optimistic, and Jupiter wants to expand everything. So really what this is expanding our idea of what is possible for us and what is possible to create in our lives. And having Venus come into Scorpio, in addition to the aspects that the moon is making, she's going to start to make an opposition over to Uranus in Taurus. And so it's kind of like she knows, she's finding beauty in knowing that she can create change. She's finding beauty in her ability to be completely open and vulnerable to what is possible. And, this can also be a very intense, in any sort of full moon or new moon, those 2 points in the cycle can be very intense. And especially with this opposition with Venus and Uranus, it is intense. It's the type of intensity, though, that we can channel into making something amazing and channel into making huge changes and planting the kind of seeds that are going to grow exponentially and more powerfully than we can even think about, that we could even imagine. And really, it's just a matter of how can we start something? How can we start over from the inside out? Scorpio, like I was talking about, Scorpio is all about what is so deep within us. So how can we create a change in that deep place within us that's going to manifest on the outside? What is it about ourselves that we need to change at a core level? The type of thing about ourselves that we aren't even always aware of. This is a time to become aware of it and decide how you want to make that change. And last year when we had our new moon in Virgo, we had another opposition between Jupiter and Uranus, except this time Jupiter was in Libra and Uranus was still in Aries. And so it's just interesting to compare the energy of that new moon to what's going on this weekend. And really what we were thinking about last year was, what do we believe about our relationships and how we partner with people and have people be part of our lives in a significant way? And how is it that we need to make changes to ourselves in order to, be open to the types of relationships we want? How do we put our egos in check so that we can attract those types of people into our lives? So really what it was about was us in relation to other people. But this year, with all this Scorpio energy, it's us in relation to us in relation to us on the deepest possible level. And so it's really a time to only think about what we think of ourselves. We need to find a way to disregard what everyone else has to say, or what we think everyone else has to say. A lot of the time we're just projecting our own opinions of ourselves onto other people and thinking that they have something to say about it. But either way, we don't need to be thinking about anybody else right now in terms of the types of intentions that we want to set for this new moon and the seeds that we want to plant. It really is just, what do we desire on the deepest possible level, and how are we going to take advantage of this time when the possibilities are so open and endless? And what are we going to initiate? What are we going to start? And how can we find a way to put all of our power and faith and belief into this one thing in order to see it grow beyond our wildest dreams? So yeah, it's going to be a big weekend, I think. I think it's going to be very powerful, and I'm really hoping that everyone takes advantage of this kind of energy, because it doesn't happen all the time. There's a lot of power going on that we don't get to bear witness to very much. So I hope that you all have a really amazing weekend. I hope you take advantage of what we have in the cosmos, supporting us here on Earth on what we're trying to create, and how we're trying to listen to our soul's desire and follow it to, our destiny, our purpose in this lifetime. And I hope that you all are able to do that this weekend. I hope that it's a magical weekend for everybody. And I'm so grateful you watched this video, and I will talk to you on Monday.